Well, it's a new month. It's September. Can you believe it? Okay. Big response. It is September. It is hard. And not only September, the first week in September is gone, right? Here we are already at the 7th. And so today I want to talk about, well, our theme is the art of discernment. The art of discernment. And if I didn't say it already, welcome to Silicon Valley Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Rasheryl McCreary, and I'm just so glad to be here. And so, well, thank you. Thank you. So in talking today about discernment, discernment is so necessary right now because we live in a world where there's so much coming at us, so much stimuli, right? We have AI. Just if you're on social media, there's, deep fake videos, whatever that means. I'm not 100% sure. But, there's all these things coming at us, right? There's images, there's videos, there's news stories. There's just a stream of information that's always flowing to us. And it's becoming harder and harder to tell what is real, right? What is an actual fact, right? What is small t true? It becomes harder and harder to discern, right? And discernment is about judgment. It's about making a good judgment. It's about being able to suss out what is real or something, being able to bring forward that which is obscure, right? That's what discernment is all about. And it is becoming more and more critical that we are able to discern what is actually happening right in front of our eyes, right? So today I'm talking about seeing through spiritual eyes. Because we see through our human eyes. We see what is going on. We see the person in the seat next to us. We see the effects in our lives. We see our relationships, our bank accounts, our whatever, right? Our jobs. We see all of those things with our human eyes. And what I'm inviting us into is how do we see with spiritual eyes, right? How do we see with spiritual eyes the capital T truth that is back of every appearance? So that's what we're talking about today, sort of, because there's something else I want to talk about today, too. So I want to say that I love this room, and I'm glad we're in this space. And this is actually the last day that we will be at this hotel. So we finally moved up to the big leagues, and now we have a new home and a new space at the Campbell UCC at 400 Campbell Avenue. Yep. Yes. Super excited. So So is there excitement about this? Yes. Yeah. So we will actually be starting there next week. And I need you all to read your email this week because I'll be sending out information because it's a much bigger space. The ceilings are super high, like even higher than this or about this height. And it's going to require a little zhuzhing, right? We're going to have to get in there and zhuzh a little bit and then figure out where production will be and all the things, yes? So let's just take a deep breath. Oh, so I am so excited about this move. And there is no mistaking that it's 9 months, almost 9 months that we've been in existence, that now we're moving. So I thought we were born on January 19th. We're actually being born next week, right? At our almost 9-month anniversary. So I'm so thrilled for us. I am so thrilled for us. And I want to talk about how this relates to discernment. There is this quote by Michael Beckwith that I love, and I was in the room when he said it for the first time. And I remember the room went berserk. It went crazy because he was so high when he was talking, and then he blurted this out. He said, when you believe more in what you don't see than what you do see, then what you do see, you won't see. And what you don't see, you will see. Right? Right? I'm going to say it again, right? When you believe more in what you don't see than in what you do see, then what you do see, you won't see. And what you don't see, you will see. Right? And I remember when he said that, he was like, just Spirit was just moving, moving, moving. And then he said that, and the room was like, what? Like everyone's brain just went like, what? Right? And then he broke it down. And so this morning, as I was preparing to come in here, and actually last night, this came through to me, that this is exactly what discernment is all about. Right? Because discernment, or seeing with spiritual eyes, is about being more anchored in what you don't see, in the unseen, the capital U, unseen. It's about being more anchored in that than you're anchored in what you see in front of you in the world, right? And I basically say the same thing every single week, just different ways, right? It's always the same conversation. But let's break this down, what Michael was talking about, because this is exactly what discernment is, and it's exactly how you manifest or reveal, allow the revelation of something to come forward in your life, right? So he says, when you believe more in what you don't see, right? When you believe more in the unseen presence, in first cause, in source, in God, in spirit, in the rock that cannot be moved, right? When you believe more in the power and the presence, the one force, right? The one presence, the one song, the one breath, the one creative power. When you believe more in that than you believe in the ways of the world, things begin to shift, right? Things begin to shift. And how do you believe more in that? How do you know more of that? You know it through your spiritual practice. You know it through your meditation. You know it through your prayer work. You know it when you step out on faith every single time and the ground comes up to meet you. Right? You know it when you step out on faith sometimes and the ground doesn't come up to meet you, and then you have to bounce back from that, right? This is how you begin to believe more in what you don't see. So in our journey over the last 9 months, and particularly the last few months, the board and I have really been aware we had to get out of that box. We were in a box downstairs, and I love the DoubleTree, and we will bless them, and we bless them, and they have been fantastic in supporting us. It's been a beautiful incubator for us. And it was time we were outgrowing that box. And here's what I know to be true. It doesn't matter how many people are in the room. It's the energy, it's the power, it's the force, it's the vibration that comes through the music, that comes through the message, right? There is a power through the visioning that we've been doing, right? There is a force here, a power here. There is a vision here. God has an idea here, yes? And it's bigger than this. It's bigger than this. It's bigger than this. And so I want you right now to think about your own life, right? There is an idea. There is a power. There is a presence. There is a vision. There is a calling. There is a design on your life that's bigger than what you're living right now. It's bigger than what you're living right now. And that's why we're together, so that we can amplify that, so we can live into that. And so the board and I were just like, we got to get out of this box. We had a guest speaker over the summer. Peter Bedard was here, and he was like, oh, my God, I love your community. Everybody's great. And he said, but that room, he's like, that room is like, I feel like I'm in a gray box. And he's like, you got to find a bigger space. And I'm like, I know we do. And so we've looked at spaces. We looked at a beautiful space that was more expensive than we are able to do right now, that's on our books right now. But the reason I wanted us to look at that first space, and a group of us went there, almost everybody in this room was there, right? The reason I wanted us to look at that first space, knowing it was not within our financial means at the moment, is because we have to believe more in what we don't see, which is there is a larger space, there is a larger place, there is a new home for us, right? And in the moment, we couldn't see it because we're in this little box downstairs. We're in a little box downstairs, and we just know those 4 walls, and we know that's set up, and we know how that all works, and we can't see the bigger thing, right? We can't see the bigger thing. And then we went to see this beautiful, bigger place, and some people got stuck on the price, right? Like, oh, my God, just shutting down because of the price, right? And that's another invitation to see with spiritual eyes, right? To see what's possible, to understand that God doesn't know if a space is $50,000 a month or $500. God does not know. We know, right? And it's delivered to us based on our consciousness. In religious science of mind, we call that your mental equivalent, right? If you have a mental equivalent for, we can only do this little box, then that's what it's going to be. I can only do this little box. That's what it's going to be. Right? If you have a mental equivalent, expand your consciousness, you begin to believe more in what you don't see, then you're open And maybe you're like, oh, whoa, $50,000 is not a bad deal, right? Because for some people, that's pocket change, right? Spirit does not know the difference. It's us. It's our capacity to hold, yes? And so by us going to see something that really stretched us, it planted us firmly in, I don't see this, right? How's this going to happen, right? It planted us firmly in, there is a divine idea that's bigger than this. Can I keep myself open? Can I keep my mind open? Can I keep my consciousness open? Can I keep the voice of doubt at bay while I experience this larger expression, right? And so that visit to that space then prepared us and opened us to a larger space. Because what did I ask y'all to do after we saw the first space? Those of you who were there, what did I ask you to do? To hold it in consciousness. What else? See yourself there. What else? Feel expansive, right? Feel expansive. Feel the growth. Feel space. Feel spaciousness. Feel affluence. Feel abundance. Feel all of those things, right? I asked you to hold that space. Hold that consciousness. It may be that particular space. It may be somewhere else. And so what happens in a meeting? We had a leadership meeting on what night was that, y'all? Wednesday? We had a leadership meeting on Wednesday night, and so we're in the meeting and we're talking about, okay, end of September, we're going to move out of the hotel, and we're going to trust that there's going to be a space for us. And as we're in the leadership meeting, my phone rings, and I don't answer it because it says charity. I mean, I'm in a meeting too, but also I see it says charity, so I'm thinking it's like, the police union wanted money or whatever, right? And so actually, though, it was our new home calling. It was our new home calling. It was our new home saying, hey, do you still want to rent a space here? Because we have a space, right? And we went and we took a look. I talked to the individual on the line later after that meeting and went and took a look at the space yesterday. Yes, yesterday. And we walked it and we looked and we felt it. And it's our new home. I met with him after we left, and it's our new home. And it is a fraction of what it costs to be here. A fraction. Yes, yes, yes. So why am I sharing this? Because when you believe more in what you don't see than what you do see, right? Then what you do see, right? The thing you don't want, right? What you do see, this box downstairs, what you do see, not enough money, the bill's not paid. What you do see, the relationship that's not working, right? Whatever that appearance is, what you do see, you won't see, right? When you believe more in what you don't see, when you believe more in the divine than the stuff that's in your face, that's on your nerves, the stuff you've outgrown goes away. You don't see it anymore. Are y'all following this? Yeah? And so this is the way of truly manifestation, right? One of the things I talked about when we saw that first space is it's one thing to think something, and I almost, I wish there was a different word for mental equivalent, because it puts you in the thinking of, I just got to think differently, right? Positive thinking. No, it's more than that. You have got to embody and live and feel in your bones, in your cells. You've got to feel that which you desire, right? So I felt that bigger space. I felt that spaciousness. Like I just walk around and I feel it and I sense it, that there's high ceilings and everything. And so what happened shortly after that is we got this place, right? Because the hotel had said before we couldn't have this room. This room has been available, but we couldn't have it. All of a sudden, after we saw that first space, and I said, let's hold more spaciousness, the hotel has a new a new person for the contracts. And I said to him, hey, can we move upstairs? And he was like, well, sure. Right? So door open just like that, right? I've been asking for 9 months, can we move upstairs? No, because of the noise, whatever the things, right? So I'm telling you this story and this journey that we've been on together so that you can look at your own life and how do you apply it to your life, right? This works. This stuff works. That's why I'm here, because this stuff works, and I want people to know it works, right? It's no mistake that when we were in the meeting talking about where are we going to move, that the person who at the place we're going to move called in that meeting. God is incredible. I'm telling you, God is incredible. What you don't see is incredible because it knows all things. It knows the desire of your heart before you even had a heart. Before you formed in your mother's womb, God already knew you intimately, knew your desire, knew your uniqueness, knew what you were going to do in the world, what you're capable of, before you ever took form, right? And that's the deeper part of this. That is the deeper part of this. So, Michael says, when you believe more in what you don't see than in what you do see, then what you do see, you won't see, right? And what you don't see, right? That manifestation, what you don't see, you will see. He's talking about how that which you desire, that which you want, the larger space, the new relationship, the new business, whatever it is, that what you want will emerge, right? And there's confusion about manifestation. People, it's so interesting because, everyone uses that word now. And it's so interesting because there's this, I saw some article where someone said they were, I'm trying to think, how did they say it? Something like they were manifesting a something or whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, manifest literally means to reveal. What manifest is saying, when something manifests, it means it was already there. It emerges. It emerges into form or into visibility. This place that we wanted to move to already existed. I didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. We didn't build that building. It already existed. But we had to move to the place in consciousness to actually have it emerge in our experience, right? So manifesting is not doing something, it's being something. You have to be the vibrational match for that which you desire, right? So it's not doing something, it's being something. Once we said, hey, we want to be bigger, hey, we want a bigger space, once we all agreed on that, hey, we're limited here, hey, this incubator's been great, but we're outgrowing it. Once we said that, then that which was available emerged into our consciousness, right? Emerged into our experience. Yeah? So if you want a neuroscience explanation for it, the reticular activating system, the RAS, which was my dad's name, right? And the reticular activating system is the way science proves what I just said to you, right? So here's how it works. Have you ever, I used to do this as a kid, like if we were on vacation or in a car and I was with my cousins and then we'd see a red station wagon, right? And then all of a sudden we go, okay, let's count how many red station wagons till we get to Niagara Falls or wherever we're going, right? And then all of a sudden there's all these red station wagons, right? Or it may happen where you decide you want to buy a certain car and you've looked at it. Now, everywhere you look, you see that car. Has that happened to you? Yes. Okay. That's the reticular activating system that is working. Your brain is basically, once you have locked in to something, right? Locked into something you want, and there's some emotion behind that, right? You've locked into that thing, then what the brain does is it scans the environment, and every time that thing shows up, it brings it in front of you. There aren't any more red station wagons on the road. You're just seeing. Now you're able to see more of them. You become aware of them. It's like your what's the thing in the camera? The aperture, right? It's like the aperture opens, right? The aperture expands, and now you can actually see, you're now actually seeing every red station wagon on the road. There are not more of them, you see them. Yes? It's the same thing with manifestation. There's not more spaces available. Our aperture had to open, our consciousness had to open to a new space. Our consciousness had to open to being bigger, right? To being in a bigger space, to get even up here, right? And it had to open to being in a larger space. And then this space popped up, and then a few days later, this other space pops up, right? Actually, 3 spaces popped up. So the first one we saw, then this one, and the one that we're actually going to move into. Yes? There aren't any more places available for us. But once we opened to it, then it became a part of our vision. We could see it then. Yes, that is what manifestation is. It's emergence of what already is. And that's why I always say, and that's why spiritual teachers say, that's why Jesus said, pray believing, right? And I would take it further and say, pray knowing. You have to feel. You have to be a vibrational match for that which you desire. There is no other way. You can fake it, right? You can fake it, and you will have a non-sustainable situation, right? You can bring, everyone here is very powerful. I know you all. Very powerful to bring things into your world and your experience, right? As am I, yeah? And so the things that are there, but they're not truly there by right of consciousness, maybe you're able to manipulate, maybe you're able to work a thing, right, and bring it in, it doesn't last, right? But things that are there by right of consciousness, which means you have done the inner work. You are literally vibrating at the level of the thing you desire. You are seeing yourself. You're feeling yourself there. You are in it. You are flourishing in that feeling, right? Then it's sustainable. Then it's the right move, right? So I want you to get that discernment is not about doing. It's about being. Who are you being? So that you can then see clearly. There's a lot of stuff going on out here. There's a lot of stuff coming at us. And the more that you live in the land of what you don't see, the more you're able to suss out the difference between what's real and what's not. Do I turn left or do I turn right? Do I pick up the phone now or do I not answer that call? Right? Are y'all following what I'm saying? Yeah? And so this is the way of discernment. This is the art of discernment. And this is how you see with spiritual eyes. And the only way to get there is you've got to do your work, right? You've got to do your work. When you are in a situation where you are maybe you want something and you've called something into your life, and then all of a sudden all the I am not enough comes up, right? Like, oh my God, I can't afford that, I'm not enough, right? All that stuff comes up. That's when you get thee to a practitioner. Right? That's when you come into the center. That's when you come into Sunday service where you do your meditation, you do your spiritual mind treatment so that you can get yourself right side up so that you can actually experience the things that you desire. We live in an abundant universe. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone does. I don't care what's on Facebook. I don't care what's coming out of the politicians and the economy. We live in an abundant universe, and there are those who are enjoying the fruits of this universe right now and will continue to do so, and each of you has the power to do that as well. Right? Each of you, there is nothing withheld from you. God is right there on the edge, right there knocking at the door of your being. God is right there supporting you, right there wanting to show up. And it's up to you to open up. It's up to you to say yes. It's up to you to hold that vibration. And if you can't, find someone who can help you, right? Find someone who has your back. Find someone who can speak the spiritual truth to you, capital T truth, and snap you out of it. You know, it's one of the things I love about my mom, right? It's so interesting because, like, when she sees her clients and different people she works with and what I call many times her other daughters, they can, it's like they can come to her with all this different stuff. And for me, it's like, man, I got to get to principal immediately. It's like my mom is incredible. And like, I got to get to principal quickly. I can't come to her a lot of times whining about something or crying, like maybe once, like maybe. I might be able to get through one time, right? I might be able to get through one time. But the beautiful thing about that is it trained me to get to center fast, right? Get to center fast. But I know if I want to whine and complain, she's not the one for me, right? I have to find, if I want to whine and complain, I need to call someone else, right? If I want to argue for my limitations, I need to talk to someone else, But you want people like that in your life, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it feels like, it can feel like it can feel, I won't say harsh, but it can feel like, can I just cry, right? Like, can I just, right? It can feel like that. But you need that kind of person in your life. These are serious times, y'all. These are serious times. And the world needs more and more and more of us to be awake and to be anchored in that which we cannot see. Yeah? And so you need people around you who are going to help you stay anchored in that which you don't see so that all the crap that's happening out here can go away. Yes? And just think about if collectively right? Individually, we're beginning to capture this in our lives. But just think about collectively, if we collectively decided to believe more in what we don't see about our world, about our politics, about our country, about the things we see happening, if we chose to believe more in what we don't see, right, then the stuff that we do see would disappear, right? And the beautiful world that we want to live in that we can't see yet would appear. Yeah. That is why we're here on the planet. And that is why I am here with y'all. I was saying to someone before service, if I had known that I was going to come here to take one job and only be there 2 years, I would have never taken that job. Right? I would have never changed my life to give up so much to be someplace for 2 years. It's like, why would I do that, right? But God always knows more. God always knows better. And it knows how and when to release information to some people, right? Because some people might not do a thing if they have too much information, right? Yeah. It's so good to be here with y'all. It's so good to be on this journey together. And I am looking forward to the next 90 years of us being together. We've been 9 months, and we got a whole lot more time to go. And I am so excited for us, because this is just the beginning. We literally just birthed. We just birthed, right? We just had our first 9 months. So with that, let's go ahead and turn within.